Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Ottman Azaitar versus Francisco Prado. Francisco Prado is 21 years old, 11-1 as a pro, and he's got 3 inches of height and 5 inches of reach over Ottman Azaitar, who's 33 and has a record of 13-1. Ottman is a killer in there. He's got very dangerous hands. He's got 10 knockouts in his 13 wins, 2 submissions, and just 1 decision. And his 1 loss comes to Matt Frevola in his last fight, in which he was knocked out. He was knocked dead at MSG, I believe. And that was his first loss, but certainly an eye-opening loss. You know, now everybody knows he has a weak chin. Although he had been dropped a few times in his career before that. He was dropped by this guy, Kodopsky, whatever. You'll look up his record. That guy dropped him. You'll know which guy I'm talking about. He knocked him down in round 1. And he was also dropped by Charlie Leary, this solid brawler, you know, regional guy, but a good brawler. And he was hurt badly by him. And then he kind of zombied his way back into the fight and got Charlie Leary out of there. It's a fucking wild fight. I believe it's on YouTube. But Ottman Azaitar's primary trait as a fighter is his knockout power. He's knocked some fighters dead. Of course, the 2 guys he's knocked dead in the UFC had weak chins. Kama Worthy, bona fide weak chin. And Teemu Packalén, I can't say he's got a bona fide weak chin because he's only got 2 knockout losses. But based on the way the knockouts looked and the fact that he hasn't fought since he's retired, I'd say he had an awful chin. Probably even worse than Kama Worthy's. So there is that. But still, Ottman's a guy that, you know, having seen a good amount of his fights, he can go. You know, he can go. He's dangerous throughout the whole fight. Got a 3rd round knockout with a body kick, even though I think he would have gotten it with the hands at the end of the fight. But he was really beating the guy up and got him out of there with a stabbing body kick, a front kick to the body. You know, he's definitely a dangerous guy and definitely a killer. I envision most of his fights in which he wins being by finish. And you know what? Most of his losses I envision being by finish as well. Because he crumbled in the Matt Frevola fight. He dropped like a sack of bricks. And again, he'd been knocked down a few times before that. So the writing might be on the wall. Francisco Prado, he is 11-1. He's got 11 finishes, 5 via knockout or TKO, and 6 via submission. And his 1 loss comes to Jamie Mullarkey in his UFC debut. He was out-wrestled largely in that fight. And Jamie Mullarkey, despite having a weak chin potentially, certainly now, he's a very difficult fighter. If you don't knock him out, he's going to be in there for full 15 minutes and scratching and clawing. And he's already done it with some established good fighters, and he was able to outpoint Francisco Prado. Francisco Prado, he got a knockout before that against this guy Barrios. Just in 1 minute, he steamrolled him with hooks. Definitely showed off his power, and he does have serious power, Francisco Prado. But he's a more versatile fighter than Ottman Azaitar. He's got 6 submissions, and he's and even some of his finishes as well via TKO or via ground and pound. The guy Adrian Peroni got him out of there with the ground and pound. He's a wild guy pretty much everywhere. I think he's still got to tame himself, being 21 years old. You know, I've seen him throw a flying knee and get taken down in one of his fights somewhat recently. But then he knocked the guy out anyway. I think the guy might have been a little chinny. But yeah, Francisco Prado, he's definitely a wild guy that I think will bring out the fight that's going to exploit Ottman Azaitar's chin. I think if Ottman Azaitar is to stay away from that fight, it's because he has enough doubt in his own chin at this point. But still, he has that power. He has that serious power where he's always going to want to fight that fight because that's where he does his winning. And I think Francisco Prado, being a young, healthy kid, is going to meet him in the middle, and he's going to win that battle. That's the pick. I got Francisco Prado winning by knockout. I think it's going to happen. I've bet on the under at -140. That's under 1.5 rounds because I think there's value there. Covers both of my primary picks for this one. And I've also bet on Francisco Prado by knockout in rounds 1 and 2. $5 to 1 and 7.5 to 1. I think there's value on Francisco Prado certainly getting this done by knockout. Ottman Azaitar, It wouldn't surprise me at all if he won by knockout, just schooling the young kid and whatever. But I think he's vulnerable, and he's fighting a kid that's very healthy and will welcome a firefight. And that's what he's going to get, and I'm picking it. It goes Prado's way. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.